Here we go. Here we go, yo.
Do you
Here we
remember how
go,
to
yo.
do this?
What?
Remember how to do this?
Tech Tuesday, it feels like spring. We've got a lot of Jeeps in rotation. We've got a lot of people hyped up and excited about their builds, their projects, and our team is bringing the heat. We're turning out lots of Jeeps, a lot of very cool, attractive, functional, off-road, on-road, meet and greet type Jeeps. So we're gonna give you a little taste of what that is and share with you the Jeep goodness that is happening here at SFJ 4x4. We're starting outside because the weather is so super nice. Shout out to Artie, this Jeep here that the owner, his daughter actually forgot that they even own this Jeep because it has been here for months at this point. Really, I just enjoy driving it, and it looks good out front, and that's really the reality of the situation. It's a super cool Jeep on Hutchinson wheels and 37s, and good old Yokohama Geolanders. And it's in to deal with some of the steering geometry, alignment issues, and maybe some drifties left and right. As we kind of push this away, we have this nice car dolly here. We don't make it a habit of selling parts that are, like whole vehicles or parts that are not ours per se. But for a customer, he has this really trick tow dolly. We just turned his Jeep into tow behind for his RV. So he's got that for sale. If anybody is really interested in that, you want to reach out to us and call into our facility number 440-813-3663. And oh, those guys are leaving. No, let's talk about them. There goes Jeffrey. There goes the mad scientist, done for the night. Mad scientist is going to get into his not Jeep AMC, and he's going to do monster truck things, hot rod stuff. Next, we have this sweet TJ, which has actually been in before. It is under new ownership, and we're going to be giving it a quick once over and looking into some emissions issues for the new owner of that vehicle. Behind it is one that we built many years ago for the Baker effect, and we have some fit and finish work for them. Past the Rambler, we've got two more in for re-gear, and then some electrical issues at the far end, those two Jeeps. So it's a matter of getting them worked into the rotation accordingly. As we spin around here, we're going to be doing this little sweet Patriot is actually pushing 260,000 miles, and it's a runner. So we're going to be doing a head job on it. We've done a really nice job diagnosing. It had kind of a phantom coolant loss. Thought maybe there's a leak in the system. The thermostat neck had gone bad. A number of things like that. And unfortunately, not the case. We went ahead and did a antifreeze to exhaust coolant test and found that there is actually, particulate matter from exhaust present in the radiator fluid itself. So sometime as the Jeep heats up, maybe it's a head gasket, maybe it's a crack. We don't know until we get in there, but gas and antifreeze is mixing, crossing somehow. We have the Everyday TJ, which is a little bit on the back burner. The body just recently came back from the Sandblast shop, and we recently put a nice coat of POR 15 on the freshly sandblasted. So we're doing both a frame and tub on that particular Jeep. And so that Everyday TJ will actually be returned to stock, but with arguably all new components. Pretty cool little process there. And I'm looking forward to actually, diving into that one. Next to the Everyday TJ is this blue monster over here. And I get the biggest kick out of this blue monster. And we're not gonna pan up on it too tight or anything like that, But those of you who are watching right now, I want you to tell me what that Jeep is. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think that Jeep is. That's today's challenge to you. We go past Chuck Norris over into this vicinity. Don't mind Nissan, my noble steed, in the middle there, who is arguably has a date with the Crusher soon, and has treated me well as a commuter vehicle, but is arguably time for it to move on. But more importantly, to the north of him is the really cool Rubicon, the JKUR over here. That's a great Jeep. Unfortunately, has been dealing with a lot of electrical issues. We most recently did a made in Cleveland, Ohio, tough stuff alternator upgrade and E-fan. So it has the PWM fan in it. There's a lot of red rock dust. That Jeep goes back and forth through Moab and the Southwest with enough frequency that the engine bay has collected a lot of that fine particulate and started to really wear on some of the electrical. And then finally we have Harley the Money Pit. The funny thing about Harley the Money Pit is that it was supposed to be we disassemble it and then reassemble it with the parts and pieces. What we have managed to do is actually we've started to build a whole new chassis for that owner, and then we're going to go through the process of swapping everything over. And we'll show you that Jeep as we head inside. As we head inside, you may recognize, I just saw the plate on this says, "Sure do." That's fun. I didn't know that was the case. That's funny, Paul. So this Jeep you might recognize from our how to buy a CJ buyers video. It has recently just got a Quadra-Trac part-time kit installed, and you'll come around over here. It's not anything fantastic for you to see, but this is the Quadra-Trac case. This actually, for our vintage Jeep lovers, this is a super cool mod. The Quadra-Trac was arguably ahead of its time. So it's an all-wheel drive Jeep produced starting in the 70s. And you know, we went through fuel crises, we had big, heavy monster vehicles, and all-wheel drive was just a gas guzzler, and so it got a bad rap by comparison. Equally, the technology that they were using at that time to create all-wheel drive versus how we do it now is a little different. With that said, this was that original all-wheel drive system. With the part-time kit that we use, which is a mile marker part-time kit, we go ahead and do the part-time in the Quadra-Trac case. Now, as a frustration, I'm going to share with you guys, the viewer, this owner had purchased this vehicle understanding that the case had been rebuilt or replaced at not that long of a time ago. And unfortunately, when we pulled it apart, that is just not the case. And the bearings were not good in the front output or the rear output of the case itself, which then took me into a whole new rabbit hole of information to find replacement bearings, which are not made for this. Now, it honestly took me to eBay, where there is some random Jeep lover who is making special bearings. They're using a Koyo bearing as the base, and then they're precision machining a sleeve, almost like a ready sleeve or a speedy sleeve, that press fits over it, which then fits perfectly into this application. Super cool stuff. We salute you, Mr. Super Bearing person on eBay. Thank you for having that product available for us. Customer went ahead, purchased, shipped it into us. The mad scientist got it installed. The team got together, shoved that massive transfer case up in there today, and now we're ready to rock and roll. We'll pass around the front of this Jeep to over here to this big beauty, and it is a YJ in for reed gear and axle work. Pretty fun. Story on this, customer has actually DIY built everything that we see on the Jeep himself. So kudos to you for getting there, rolling up your sleeves and, building your toy how you please. The re-gear, we'll be doing 488s. I believe this is actually an automatic YJ. And so that 488s is really going to give it some oomph with those big oversized tires. If you are a YJ owner, you will know that they have the original front axle disconnect, or FAD. JL owners, we now call that a CAD, but it is the identical technology, which basically says that the long side axle shaft actually has a collar that locks and unlocks, engaging part of your four-wheel drive system. We'll actually be eliminating that and going to a one-piece axle shaft, which is standard on later model XJs and all TJs. We'll be doing that conversion here shortly. A block-off plate goes on the backside, and it operates or functions like a XJ or a TJ would without that FAD. Circle over here. Well, actually, let's take a moment, pan down, check that out. Check out that red rock, right? That's all mud. So that's Great Lakes mud and Pennsylvania red rock all throughout the alternator and the PWM fan. Now we're on to Harley the Money Pit. Look at that, it looks like a Jeep. Pretty cool stuff. Unfortunately, they purchased the tub. They thought it was in better condition than it actually is. It actually took a frontal impact and it actually buckled the tub here. You'll see that outline. As we move around the front, you'll see we actually use paint pen to show all the damaged places where it buckled in the tub. We actually had to go ahead and move or relief the body mounts so that the bolts would thread in appropriately. And this whole panel here is actually shoved in as well. So as this kind of gets reassembled, it has to go out to the body shop and they're going to do some pulling and tweaking on this tub to ensure that it's everything that the customer had hoped it would be. Circle back over here, we've got tires galore, we've got skid plates getting POR 15'd, we've got tubs with POR 15 and Raptor liner, and then of course everybody's favorite, the hashtag not a restoration. Hashtag not a restoration is just getting fit and finish work done. It's a gem. Can't wait to get some road miles on it, get those gears broken in, and send it off to the customer very, very soon. And I guess we pan over here, and this is for the CJYJ conversion. So we are readying this particular grill for a tub that was back there to get CJ front end on a YJ Jeep Wrangler. So YJ's 87 to 95. We'll be putting a full CJ front end on it, make it look really trick and nostalgic. Folks, I hope you had fun. We are booking out. We appreciate everybody's support. We hope you're enjoying the Jeeps. We really enjoy your feedback when it comes to the podcast. Check out the new one, The American Hustle. That's a podcast all about entrepreneurship and personal development. You're not going to want to miss that one. And of course, check out the I Speak Jeep, which is all about this everyday cool stuff that we get to do. We thank you for your support. Leave a comment below or, hit us up on that call number. You want to buy that car dolly, you can do that. Or obviously our text only number, 440-855-2100, and you can text us. Let us know about a Jeep. Tell us about something. You want to book a job. You want to ask a question. Give us a shout, and let us know how we're doing. Until then, Jeep on.